Are you using webinars to grow and nurture your business? So I work with a lot of Vistage chairs, a lot of executive coaches, and one of the tools that we embed when we're partnered together is using LinkedIn Live events to grow, build authority, engage with hand-picked prospects, and to convert. And this is a big deal. So there's a huge niche of using webinars to sell. I mean, just Google that or YouTube it, you're gonna see millions of hits on that. This is particularly using LinkedIn Live and LinkedIn events. Incredible platform. LinkedIn keeps putting more and more focus on this, making it better every day. So in this episode of Giant TV, I'm gonna walk you through exactly the strategy on what I coach with the people I'm working with, how to use these tools, and how to make it work for you. So let's go jump in. Okay, hello, let's jump into this. Clip on my mic here. Thanks for being here. I want to respect everybody's time and get into it. And so a little bit about my background, then I'm going to get into virtual events. And so I'm the founder and president of Giant Jacks Media. If you haven't seen me out there on LinkedIn or other places, I'm a company that works with others to help them grow and nurture their business. I work with a lot of executive coaches, many Vistage chairs, and been involved with the Vistage organization for about 11 years, doing great things. So this is going to be a focus on using virtual events to grow your business and to sell and to position yourself as the authority. And I'm going to run through how this all works, because there's just huge opportunity for all of us to use this tool to do great things and be different. So I've got some slides here just to keep me organized and give you sort of a focus on the presentation here, but I want to go through the what, why, and how. Okay, so first of all, here's where virtual events fit into you and growing your business. These are the 5 foundational tools that I talk to all of my clients about and the tools that I use in growing a business. I don't care if you're a solopreneur or a bigger business, you got to have these 5 tools in place in order to grow and nurture. And so when I'm working with Vistage chairs, for example, or other executive coaches, I always ask, what do you have going on in these areas? And I won't go into an in-depth discussion of all these because I want to focus on this piece over here, virtual events, but all of them are critical. And when you have these connected and working together, they all lend themselves to a positive outcome, which is identifiable and repeatable processes where you're growing. There's a smooth process to your growth, and there's efficiencies built into it. But this is where virtual events come into play. It's one of these 5 foundational tools that I focus on. So what is a virtual event? We know everybody's online today, and everyone gets it. And there's been an explosion on all the platforms. I'm going to focus a lot on LinkedIn, of course, today, because these are LinkedIn events, but everyone's focused on live events. LinkedIn has LinkedIn Live, LinkedIn events. They just rolled out LinkedIn audio, where my mind's going insane thinking about how to use LinkedIn audio, especially if you're a Vistage coach. Vistage chair, you could have, your members, people can raise their hand, you can have collaboration going on. Very interesting application there, which I'm testing right now. But when I'm working with chairs and coaches, the first thing is, okay, let's develop a media channel for you, branded for you, where we're going to run your content through it. So in this case, it's your virtual event, and we're going to have a tagline for you. And I'm going to show you in a minute here a chair, Aviva, out of Georgia, who's done this just wonderfully with Beyond the Comfort Zone. But it's going to be your show, and you got to put some thought into, your brand, what your channel is going to look like. And this is a discussion about how you want to show up and being creative and separating yourself. So you figure out, what does your show look like? And then the important part of this is the content, is that when you're doing these virtual events to build authority, engage and convert and get into discussions, it's got to be valuable content. It's not selling over and over and over. It's really branding, marketing. Selling is built in to the process because you have calls to action and all of that, but it's really valuable content. How can you teach, guide, and help people along the way? And I'll give you an example of the events that I'm doing with Vistage Chairs now is introduction to Vistage. And what we're doing, this is how we build the what of the events with the content, is we're pre-recording these events. So we have an intro by the Vistage Chair to the event, a couple minutes, 3 minutes intro. Then it moves in to a pre-recorded session with a top Vistage speaker. And I've got access to incredible speakers, top Vistage speakers, because they've appeared on my podcast shows. And so I've gone to these speakers and have said, okay, I need your help. I need you to partner with me and the chairs I'm working with, and to bring your content and to have a Zoom session of your content that's resonating with CEOs and C-suite executives already, because they're top Vistage speakers. Come on board, and we're going to record this. It's going to become part of a virtual event we're going to do. And no hesitation. So I've got top speakers that come on board, and we have a session. The chairs record a session, and we do this. And there's Amy K. Hutchins out of San Diego as an example. You can find her, Google her. She's incredible, top Vistage speaker, was a Vistage member, speaks at all the VESs, and has an incredibly successful international consulting company. She's insane. I love Amy. But so now the chairs recording session with Amy, and Amy, her comment is, I know how to sell Vistage. So she sells Vistage without having to really sell it. You know what I mean? So that's pre-recorded. And then we move into testimonials from members. So we have 2, 3, testimonials pre-recorded from members. I have a chair, Jeff Oak, who did this. He's in Long Island area. He had 5 or 6 members, just incredible content that he got from his members. We all package this up together. As a matter of fact, that event is this week. So now we have those member testimonials and then an outro, sort of call to action at the end by the chair. So this is about a 45-minute event. And it's an introduction to Vistage, incredible event. And this is the what. So we have the show, and this becomes a LinkedIn event, and we're going to market it. And I'm going to walk through how we do that. So that's the content. Why you do this? Build authority, engage, and you can get in front of your top prospects. So we all need ways to be different, separate ourselves from the competition, and get noticed by our prospects, especially with chairs. I keep going back to this because I'm so entrenched right now helping, but it is, the chairs and many coaches are reaching out to whales, right? These are owners of businesses, C-suite executives. We all want to work with these people. They're very hard to get a hold of. And everybody's trying to get in front of them. So there's a lot of competition for the attention of these type of prospects. And as you well know, the coaching consulting world has exploded over the last years. Everybody seems to be calling themselves a consultant or coach today, whether they're qualified or not. There's just a lot of competition. And so it's become increasingly important to be different. My mom used to say to me and my 3 brothers, be the squeaky wheel that gets the grease, stand out, find other ways to get the attention of these whales that you're going after, that you want to talk to. And, you're competing with others. I'm trying to get in front of those same people with certain businesses I'm running. I'm using every strategy, tip, trick, tool in the book to get them to notice me and get on a Zoom with me over everybody else. And so you've got to embrace these tools that allow you to do that. And when you have these online virtual events going, you're able to really be different and grab the attention. And so this is the why that you do this. And also, if you Google or YouTube, using webinars to build a business, you'll get 10 million hits. This is a massive cottage industry. And it's not new here. It does work. And it's one of the channels I've used to build out, the 3 businesses I'm involved with and part of with a lot of success is webinars, to do all these things and to convert. And it just flat out works when done right with consistency and getting all the pieces together. So this is the why you want to do this. And let's talk about the setup of these events. So on the front end, you've created your media channel and you have that branding all done. And now you're going to be running the content through it. So now you have pre-recorded your event and you've got that introduction to Vistage event. I have other chairs that interview certain guests, so we have we have these content pieces that are put together. They have strategic guests. I was just talking to a chair before this Zoom, and he's got some incredible people in his geography that are business owners. He's interviewing. We're going to make that an event and we're going to stream that. So the content's key. So whatever event you're doing, you have that ready to go. Now you pick a date, right? So you put your show together, you pick a date. And if you do this consistently, maybe you're doing it once a month and you have just a consistent date where you're doing it over and over, you have it done. So pre-recorded and it's all edited, done right. And you have this beautiful piece of content. Now we're going to stream it. So now you upload the video. This is for a LinkedIn Live event. You upload the video to Restream. Restream is a third-party streaming app that's required to stream on LinkedIn, stream live on YouTube, on maybe a Facebook company page, all these places, Twitter, where you can stream it simultaneously. So you're uploading the pre-recorded video. This is what we do to Restream. Restream's a great platform and you have the video in there. So now what you're doing is you're setting up your email nurture. So this is the other thing you got to have is email nurture, collecting emails, getting them into your distribution platform like Constant Contact, and then nurturing. You're nurturing with things like this great event that you're doing, and you're sending out, you're being proactive about communicating through email. So now you set up your email nurture. So prior to the LinkedIn event, that's a LinkedIn Live, you're going to have multiple emails going out, letting people know, hey, I've got this great event. It's killer. I've got incredible guests. It's for you. You're going to love it. Go here and grab your spot. And they're going to the LinkedIn event. So when you upload your video to Restream, what happens is Restream's connected to LinkedIn. And so an event is automatically created on LinkedIn on your event page. If you haven't done a LinkedIn event, go look at your profile. On the left-hand side, as you're looking at it, there's a side panel there. Scroll down, you'll see events. That's where you create events. It'll show you the events you're signed up for and the events you're doing. And when you do it on a Restream, it automatically creates that event. And when you load it up to Restream, there's important things to do there. You've got to have a thumbnail that you load up. We created on Canva. Thumbnail goes in there, which is going to show up on your LinkedIn event, right? It's a thumbnail that looks there with color, it pops, and it's a great looking thumbnail. And then you have a title and summary, but it all shows up on your LinkedIn. So the event's there. So now the other thing you do is you set up your email to market the event. You set up your direct messages to your top prospects. So if you are using the right tools, you can automate the sending of a direct message to your first level connections that you handpick to invite them to this event. So it's DMs that are going out on LinkedIn to your top prospects, and it's telling them, I have this great event, go check it out, grab your spot. And it, all roads lead to Rome. It's going to the LinkedIn event page. So you have DMs going out. And okay, so then you also here want to invite your first level connections through the LinkedIn event portal. So what this is about, if you haven't done it, is LinkedIn is constantly updating the LinkedIn event portal. They just had a recent update The portal looks great. And when the event is set up, it shows up there in your event page. Now you can go into the event portal and you can invite your first level connections. It's not a direct message. It's not an email, of course. It's an invite. You probably have gotten them on LinkedIn, and the whole LinkedIn event live and everything is exploding. And you see, you know, all the top marketing people are for sure using it. And but it's there, and these are free tools you have. So now you can go in there and you can bulk invite people. So your event set up, you click on invite, and there's some search functionality in the LinkedIn event portal to invite your first level connections. It's not awesome. It's good, but not awesome, because it doesn't have enough search parameters there, but it has by company, by geography, title, and so forth. So you get pretty nichey there, and you can bulk invite, or you can search for people and invite them. Point is, you got to know who your top prospects are of your first level connections and invite them to the event. And you go through there and just invite, and you can do about 1,000 invites a week. That's what LinkedIn allows you to do. So you just max that out. Take you 15 or 20 minutes to max it out. If you have a great event, you just go in there, boom, max out, invite your first level connections. And here's what happens then. They get pulled in to the LinkedIn event portal, and they're a captive audience. And that event stays up there forever unless you delete it after it's done. So they're always there. But as they get pulled in, you can engage with them. And this is a new tool on the LinkedIn event portal, is before, during, and after the event, you can and should be engaging with the people who are pulled in. And what's awesome about this is, you know, not all of them are going to show up and watch it, human nature, but they get pulled in. Hey, I'm interested. And now you have these people that you handpicked in there. You have a reason to talk to them, a reason to follow up. You can engage with them before the event, hype the event up by sending out a message in the LinkedIn event portal to everyone there. Hey, thanks for your interest. Really, you know, looking forward to seeing you there. It's going to be great. You know, my guest, Amy K. Hutchins, is incredible, blah, blah, blah. And so the engagement is very key. And then all these people are getting pulled in there. You see them and you can interact with them. And then what happens at the time of the event, you've loaded this video into Restream. So it's pre-recorded. It's just going to stream on its own. You don't have to do anything at this point. It's going to stream. At the time that you pick, the LinkedIn event banner is going to flip to the live show. Everyone that signed up is going to get alerts that, you know, you're going live. They'll get several alerts from LinkedIn. Some of the automation that's built into LinkedIn that you can utilize, because there's not a lot of automation anywhere on that platform. But this is one place where LinkedIn will alert people to your event. And then you go live and people are there and you can interact with them while this is streaming. So your pre-recorded event is streaming. You're there in front of your computer and you're chatting, you're messaging, and it's fantastic. And there is an indicator of how many people are showing up there on the LinkedIn event portal, but it's awesome. And then as the event goes, you're there. As soon as the event is done, it shows up in your news feed. And so as a post. And so now you have this post and you can tag prospects on it. And now you have the recording, right? So you have the recording of the event. It's memorialized for you to use over and over. So a follow-up to the event, because the success of any event is what you do on the follow-up. The follow-up is get the recording out to everybody that signed up. And you're going to send out a very strategic, thank you for your interest in my event. It was fantastic. Want to make sure you have the recording. You send them a link to the recording, and then you can have a call to action. I'd love to hear more about your business. You know, would you be open to jumping on a Zoom call? So this is the follow through. And then you're doing another event consistently and inviting these people. So, you know, they're getting nurtured over and over to these events that you're doing. And I mentioned this here, next level, engaging in the event portal, tagging strategically when the event becomes a post after it's done, tag people on that post. If you don't know how to tag, you click the 3 dots in the top right corner of your post, and you can then @mention people when you edit that in the summary. @mention people, pick 4, 5, 6, 7 people that are in your pipeline. If you're a Vistage share, who are you talking to? That's potential Vistage member that's in your pipeline, maybe interested. Tag them on this. You certainly will have invited them. Maybe they showed, maybe they didn't, but now they're going to see it no matter what, because you're going to tag them on the post, and they're going to, revert back to that. And then I mentioned this follow-up activities, recording to all with your call to action. Let me show you here how this looks on the LinkedIn event portal. So this is an event that was done, Aviva, incredible chair. And this is her branding, Beyond the Comfort Zone. And she did this live show. She had an incredible guest, David Friedman, and he talks about company culture. Very successful company. He's a top Vistage speaker and very dynamic guy. So she had him on the show, and this is the show she did. You can see there was incredible sign up here. She had, I think, had over 100 people, and then this is where you see people who signed up, and you can engage, message them. There's a whole nother networking tab in the event portal where you can message the whole group at once, but you can see captive audience. These people get pulled in, they're here, and they're never going to leave. And so she knows who attended her event. So my next slide is here. That's the end of the slide. Okay, so the wrap up here is, and the way to think about this is that these are webinars to grow your business. Think of that concept: webinars to grow, build authority, stand out, engage, and a tool you can use. And they run on LinkedIn Live using the LinkedIn event portal. So you piece all this together, very powerful. Do it consistently, and it just works. And so I'll say this: if you're not connected with me on LinkedIn, get connected. Happy to get one-on-one, answer any questions about this or anything else about your practice. Always love giving back and my insights, and would love to talk with you. So thanks for being here. Well, let me just see one question before I jump. Oh, how far in advance to promote it? So I would say, best case scenario, 2 weeks. Give yourself 2 weeks to do it, which is plenty of time. Anything longer than that, you get an invite 3 weeks away. People are going to ignore that. 2 weeks. I've even done it a week ahead of time to do it, which is fine. You crank it out, but 2 weeks I think is optimal. Okay, so I think that's it for now. This was a quick hit. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you next time.